Да, мне аж камеру нахуй выдернул.
Отбой! Отбой, массу!
Другому трошки побили, а ми там якусь хату.
Наша зона відповідальності це 28 кілометрів дальність пострілу, це вся наша зона відповідальності. Ми працюємо на контрбатарею, ми шукаємо, якщо знаходять, взагалі краще, якщо знайдуть командний пункт якийсь десь там за лінією фронту. Ми його одразу відпрацьовуємо. Дальність пострілу дозволяє, калібр дозволяє знайти їх навіть під землею, достати, розбити будь-який бліндаж.
А це перша. Це з другого пострілу.
Вночі нас підняли. Ну що, координати, фонариком себе підсвітив, мені сказали куди. Як кажуть, нічого складного, з поправками попали.
Казав попередникам, це і все, а далі вже підуть. Ми собирали? Ні, тоді ж БК було. Далі, Зараз трошки стало тихіше, трошки, мабуть, або ми їх вимотали, або трошки ми їх побили там. Зараз трошки тихіше, чим було там місяць назад, в тому самому ж лютому. Були такі, що ми працювали постійно, там, сутками, і днем, і ночі. А зараз, ви ж бачите самі, що ми стоїмо, балакаємо.
Постріл!
Дуже подобається тим, що вона б'є одразу в ціль. Тобто один-два снаряди, і ми попадаємо.
Video released on Tuesday purports to show British Challenger 2 main battle tanks on the ground in Ukraine for the first time. This footage from Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov shared on social media includes the cabinet official thanking the United Kingdom.
Thank you very much from Ukraine to United Kingdom.
But these tanks will have to do more than trend on Twitter. Ukraine has begged and pleaded for months for advanced weaponry ahead of what is an expected counter-offensive against invading Russian forces occupying swaths of territory in the country's east. The U.S. and NATO have promised tanks and artillery in hopes that Ukraine can repeat some of the successes it saw last year in repelling Russian attacks and retaking Russian-held regions. But that offensive has yet to take shape. Kyiv and Moscow have spent months locked in bitter combat over the now shattered eastern city of Bakhmut, a battle both sides have described as a meat grinder where the front line has barely moved. A Moscow-installed leader in eastern Ukraine on Tuesday said Russian forces were making gains in Bakhmut. But in a video released on Telegram, Ukrainian commander Alexander Syrsky said his forces were inflicting heavy losses on Russian attackers in an effort to exhaust the invaders. Heavy fighting has also moved to the town of Avdiivka, a bit to the south, where British intelligence said a Russian tank division had suffered heavy losses. Video released by Ukrainian police purported to show officers working to evacuate civilians as the front line inched closer. But residents in nearby Semenivka told Reuters they had no plans to leave. 56-year-old Elena, who did not give a surname, said there is no place to leave for. Where should we go, and how can I leave my home? That's why we're staying here. This 71-year-old said, our army is holding up, and so are we. We have hope. We have hope, and we hope the situation will calm down. Both sides are signaling their readiness for even more brutal combat ahead. Moscow on Tuesday released footage of Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu inspecting arms factories, showing munitions being readied for the front. Russia and Ukraine are both reportedly expending artillery shells at a rate not seen since the Second World War. France's defense minister on Tuesday said it would double its supply of 155mm shells to Ukraine to about 2,000 per month. As expectations of a new offensive build, these Ukrainian recruits this week practiced firing rifles and rocket-propelled grenades under the eye of a Swedish instructor, Magnus Ek.
I train both new soldiers that are mobilized, they just got a uniform and a gun. We start from day one.
and also experienced units. It can be a mission-related training for some fighters that are pulled out. They need to train on something and then they go back to the front line and do that.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday used the one-year anniversary of what he called the decisive battles to recapture territory here in the Sumy region from Russian forces to rally his countrymen for the expected springtime counterattack. He noted the Russian border sat quite close, a border he said no tyrant will ever manage to erase. Ukrainian fighters here pushed back Russian attackers a year ago in an early victory for Kiev following Moscow's invasion. It remains to be seen whether an influx of Western tanks, shells, and training will mean Ukraine's armed forces can do that again.
Tactical nuclear weapon to Belarus.
They haven't done that yet.
But
Unless something happens on the helicopter.
are you concerned about that?
Yeah, I'm concerned.
What do you make of Putin's announcement that he would send those nuclear weapons to Belarus?
What I've been talking to you guys about for the last year, this is dangerous kind of talking, and it's worrisome.
When you go to Japan,
Do you think Trump should be indicted?
This year, for the first time, we're incorporating a number of new elements, including operating with 18 different nations on a live mission-partnered communications environment. We're operating simultaneously here in Grafenwehr, Germany. Also, the mission that you just witnessed occurred simultaneously up in Oksbold, Denmark, and down in Romania, a training area there as well. All done via distributed communications simultaneously across the theater from the Baltic all the way to the Black Sea. Our alliance consists of 30 nations, and with the hopeful ratification of the membership of Sweden and Finland, it will be 32. It's important that all of our nations are able to operate together and seamlessly, and we rehearse and practice things in peacetime so that if we ever have to work together in combat, that we'll be able to do so without having to learn on the fly.
Officers which are a part and embedded into that Polish multinational brigade staff. Down to how we were trained in field artillery, and then putting field artillery subject matter experts at the points of minutes, and then we travel from here out to the observation post so you can actually see them embedded, and then with the counterfire so we can
button, because FDC, they'll send where it needs to point. So I sit up there. You have loader will send it on. I'll say, yep, okay.
You have to load on your own.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. California?
Спочатку, коли були самі перші запуски, трохи було невідомо, як саме правильно діяти, як правильно уражати цілі і тому подібне. Але потім згодом, коли вже почали практикувати, почали тренуватись, почали збивати, вже сприйняття настрою.
Да, это я въебал. Пацаны,
Стріляли на випередження. По-перше, наш спостерігач за допомогою лазерної указки вказав напрямок цілі. Також висоту. Ми вже по траєкторії, отак лазерна указка вказувала, ми вже по траєкторії орієнтувались і стріляли на випередження. На висоті приблизно 150 метрів він летів перед нами. Дальність десь близько 200 метрів.
Как выглядит дрон «Камикадзе Шахид», можно сейчас увидеть вблизи. Это «Шахид-131», это 136-й. Их сбили в разных регионах Украины. И сейчас военные изучают, что же там находится внутри.
Можете використовувати просто по будівлях, щоб був більший ефект.
Більшість з них це в нас комплектуючі іноземного виробництва, а саме це Японія, Китай, США. Більшість із них ми передали нашим закордонним партнерам для того, щоб на них змогли накласти санкції, щоб ці електронні комплектуючі більше ніколи не попали до Ірану і щоб ніколи не застосовувалися вже проти нас.
We are in a time when the enemy trying to capture Bakhmut has thrown its best units to achieve victory. Our goal is to eliminate as many of these enemies as possible and to create the conditions to be able to begin counter-offensive actions. So we need to put an end to enemy units that oppose you. You have proven your ability to do this.
Створити умови для того, щоб можна було перейти до наступальних дій. Тому треба поставити крапку по тим підрозділам.
We have a goal. The goal is to get to Ukraine's borders. The goal is to eliminate the enemy. So they die here, near Bakhmut, and elsewhere. And it is important that you execute your tasks as excellently as you've already done. And the most important thing is that you come back to your units alive and well after completing your tasks.
Ну і головне, щоб ви і надалі так зразково виконували свої завдання, а головне, щоб ви після їх виконання повертались до своїх підрозділів живими і ушкодженими. Слава Україні! Героям!